And we are back in the podcast studio hanging out with our guy, Malcolm Koonce. And Malcolm, we were talking about on your way up here. Year 4 now for you. I know it's making you feel, you're making me feel old though, bro.
Yeah, definitely getting up there a little bit. Yeah.
No, you still got a lot of life, a lot of football in front of you, my friend. We got a long way to go. But appreciate you coming hanging out with us. It's good to see you guys back in the building, feel the energy of all you dudes back in the building, getting to work. How has the off-season, air quotes, been for you, though?
It's been great. It's been chill. Got to rehab a little bit and stuff like that. It's always good to kind of like get away from football for a little bit and like reset. So
we talk about that reset, and we've heard from so many guys, even Max, right? Like you got to take a step away a little bit, right? And maybe not an extended step, but you got to kind of get away, clear your head. Like how now going into year 4, has that process for you changed, having the non-football time during the off season?
I wouldn't say the process has changed. I think that like now going into my year 4, I think I've like appreciate it more. Like I feel like when you're younger, you don't really realize like how important it is to kind of take that step back and kind of like reset. So
yeah, and it's all part of the maturation and growing and kind of figuring out what works for you. But that's over. We're back in the building. A lot of excitement to have you dudes back here. And I think it's fun for us here on the non-football side to kind of feel the energy of you guys getting back to work. For the people at home, right, like I know you guys aren't on the field or anything, but what do the days kind of look like for you guys now?
It's just like we work out as a team. We have like light meetings and stuff like that. We're just like putting in like the basics and stuff. So it's real chill. So
nice to be back with the group though.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to come back in and see the guys and stuff like that. See different people, like they change their hairs or it's just random. So
who's the guy that had the hair change? You're like, man, okay, like I see you look a little different.
Zay, he did a big chop. So
okay. Yeah. The big chop. All right. Good to know. We talk about kind of phase 1 and the ramp up to ultimately training camp. And then, you guys will go away for the summer and come back. Up to mini camp and then go away and come back for training camp. But how important is it for you guys just to kind of be together, break a sweat, kind of understand like, all right, now we are officially kind of off and running on this 2024 marathon?
I think it's very important. This time of the year is way different than like training camp and stuff like that, because training camp, you kind of train it for the season. You're like locking in for like the games that you got to play and stuff like that. And this is just like a good time just to be around each other. On the weekends, you hang out with each other and stuff. So it's definitely like, it's definitely an important time.
You talk about that relationship building and certainly a big name, a big personality in that defensive line room. And right now with Christian Wilkins. I mean, I know still so early, and I know you guys are still probably feeling him out just like he's feeling you guys out. But what has it been like working with him so far?
No, it's been great. He's been chill. He's been cracking jokes here and there. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that he's in the room.
Yeah, and certainly from a football perspective, I imagine the guys like you and Max and Tyree, you see him come in during free agency, and that's got to be like, oh, okay, like we're going to get a chance to really go eat in 2024.
Yeah, no, he definitely let everybody know in the room that he's serious, so it's great.
I think what's exciting too, and we certainly saw it at the end of last year, right, once AP kind of came into the big chair, but like the strength of this team in 2023, and I think the expected strength of the team going into 2024 is going to be that defense, right? That defensive line, getting after the quarterback, being effective, being efficient, being explosive in all three lines of the defense. Like for a dude like you who's going to make his money getting after the quarterback, being disruptive, like is that fun and exciting? That like, hey, we're kind of the identity of what we want to be in 2024. Yeah.
No, it's definitely fun. All the time in our room, we talk about us being like the motor of the team, like not just the defense, but the team in general. So it's always great that like we feel like we have it on our shoulders and stuff like that, and we can change the outcome of how things go. So
going back to 23 for a second though, Malcolm, you look at the numbers and career year and pretty much every metric you want to look at, the 8 sacks, the whole deal. What worked last year for you?
I pretty much just think what worked last year was just trust myself and just taking it one step at a time, one game at a time, not like looking big picture or caring about this or that. So just staying to myself. I think that's what really helped.
We talk about the 8 sacks, and obviously that's the number that everyone focuses on, right? That's what everyone loves to see. That's the one that gets you on SportsCenter and ESPN, NFL Network, all that places. But like, are you, when you're in the middle of it, right? When it's week 13, let's say, like, are you kind of aware of the production, or is that something that you kind of look back on at the end of the year and be like, oh, okay, man, like the numbers really were kind of added up for me in a positive way?
Well, the beginning of the year, I kind of had a whole bunch of like missed sacks. So I kind of got in the mindset of just like, don't think about it, just rush to try to play as good as I can. So then when the sacks finally started to come, I kind of was already in like the habit of like just not even focusing on it. So as the stats kind of like stacked up and stuff like that, I didn't realize until after the season, like, oh, I actually did something really good. So
certainly more of an appreciation after the fact. You get
definitely.
to look back and be like, all right, like, okay. When you go back and you do the reflection on 2023, right, as we kind of put that to bed officially, like, do you go through a process of kind of examining what works for you, areas you want to get better, or do you say, hey, you know what, 23 was done, it was great, all eyes on to 24?
I think right now is a big process for me of like really analyzing the things I did well last season, and the things I need to work on, things that I struggled with. So yeah.
So a constant kind of reevaluation and figuring out, okay, how can we get better? Malcolm, as we sit here today on Thursday the 18th, we are a week out from the 2024 NFL Draft. So put on that way back when cap for me, man. Like, what do you remember about your draft experience? That was, 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
What do you remember?
It was a stressful time. I wouldn't want to go through it again. I mean, I'm happy where I am, obviously, but I had an injury and stuff like that, so it was definitely stressful. So,
what do you remember about draft weekend? Because ultimately, you got a call, right? Like the phone did go off. So like, what was? So what was that like?
It was an experience. Like, it's weird when you got like everybody that you know from like college, from people you grew up with, from just people that you met like along the way, all in one area, and it's like you know everybody, but they don't know everybody, and it's kind of strange.
It's like a wedding.
Yeah, kind of.
That's honestly what it is. It's like a wedding. Yeah,
that's what it is.
What do you remember about like getting that call? Right, like I imagine that's like one of the moments that when you're like a little kid or you're playing Pop Warner or whatever it is, like you kind of dream about getting that moment.
Yeah. I know before it, my mom tells me all the time that I was like super like antsy like before, like I couldn't like stay still. I couldn't watch the screen and stuff like that, just hear name after name being called. So then when I finally got the call, it was like a big like a whole like now we can actually enjoy the draft party that I was at. So
did you? I know this might be even hard to remember from way back when, but did you have any indication that the Raiders were like in on you, or did you think there was any chance you're going to end up here?
I knew the Raiders had an interest in me. I got a few calls, like frequent calls by them, so I knew they were interested.
The feeling of just like exhale after that phone call comes in, what's that like?
It feels great, and then you kind of like it's kind of like it feels great for that day, and then you wake up like, all right, now I need to get to work.
Well, because I mean, and the way the schedule is now, like rookie minicamp's like less than a week later, right? So I mean, you guys are here, you're in the building, you're figuring out like, okay, what plane am I, or what flight am I getting on? Definitely. I'm going west, right? For you being in New York, like this is the furthest west I've gone in a hot minute. Like I imagine it's just about, like you said, happy you went through it, but probably happy you don't have to go through it again, right?
100%, yeah.
Does it bring up like any like memories like next week when the draft's here, being like, oh man, I remember that?
Yeah, I feel like every year it kind of makes you like kind of reminisce, like, oh, I remember at this time I was doing this, I was training here, or I was with this person, that person. So
yeah, it's a fun week. I think it's a fun week for obviously us in the building. It's a fun week for the league to see all these dudes like dreams come true and start on the next chapter. But we're very excited that you are here. We're very excited about the 8 sacks in 2023. We're excited about all things in 2024. And most importantly, dude, we're excited that you guys are back in the building, right? Because the offseason is a lot of fun for us. Like we get to do vacations, get to go places for the weekend, but it's a lot better when you guys are here.
I feel you. 100%.
Well, dude, best of luck, man. I'm sure we'll catch up with you before training camp. Congrats on everything, and best of luck going forward. All right, brother?
Thank you.